delivery can grow your reach very fast in the restaurant. But if you launch it too early, it can also drain your cash. If you got to run a slice of pizza across town for $4 and pay a driver to do it, it's going to cost you money. That's your minimum. I recommend setting your delivery minimum at the cost of one pizza. So if your cheapest pizza is $12.99, set your delivery minimum at $12. If your cheapest pizza is $15.99, set your delivery minimum at $15. Make them get at least a pizza, at least the value of a pizza, so that you're not cutting into your profit by running food out. Oh, there we go. What's going on, Pizza Fam? We are back with another episode of Pizza King Podcast. Listen, we are still celebrating National Pizza Month, Podcastathon 2025. We are now 11 days in, 11 episodes, actually 12 straight, because we dropped one at the end of September. But we're still bringing you as much knowledge as we can about the pizza game. We're giving you stories, we're giving you tips, we're giving you interviews, everything we can this month to celebrate all that thing that we love called pizza. Today's no different. I really want to dig in on something that actually get asked quite a bit, from operators out there, especially independents who are growing and really are ready to take that next step. And they want to talk about, timing and cost and, if implementing is going to be the right thing. What I'm talking about is delivery. Like, when is the right time to implement delivery? Can you make it profitable? Does it actually really work? Delivery can grow your reach very fast in the restaurant. But if you launch it too early, it can also drain your cash. So today we'll talk about when to start, how to price it, and how to keep it profitable. So let's just jump right into it. First, you really need to know if your store is ready for delivery. Before you jump into delivery, are you ready for delivery? Are your dine-in and your carry-out systems stable enough to handle adding more volume? Can the kitchen handle the added volume without slowing down ticket times for your main revenue? Do you have the team members ready to own this process? Are you going to do in-house delivery? Are you going to try to outsource it? Do you even know what your average ticket times are, what your average ticket price is? Do you know your food costs and your labor percentages? Are you dialed in on those elements of your business before we start to add more? Because listen, if things aren't tight, delivery will most likely add a little bit of chaos before it adds growth. Because you're managing a different part of your business. So if you ask yourself those questions and you feel like you're ready, now you need to dig into what your true cost of delivery is going to look like. Like, what are those expenses? What is the driver labor going to look like? Especially if you're doing first person, what's your driver labor going to look like? What's that insurance cost? How much is insurance going to cost you? Are you covering fuel? Like, what's your packaging going to look like? Do you have POS integration? These are things that can cost you money up front if you need to, purchase delivery bags, if you need to upgrade your POS system to add delivery integration, meaning mapping and routing and driver assignments, things like that go into your POS system. Many operators underestimate those initial costs. So insurance is a big one. That's going to cost you several $1,000s a year to implement delivery. If you're going to do first person, you're going to have to cover those drivers through your insurance policy. There's going to be added labor. It's easy to say, and here's what I hear. I'll just handle the deliveries. I'll take them. But that means you're taking you out of the operation. So who's your backup? Who's covering as you step out of your role to go run a delivery? Think about the timing of it. Can you realistically during a rush step out for 20 to 40 minutes at a time? And if it's busy, can you just be gone for that entire service period? You need to think about those things. Listen, if it costs you, and it's going to cost you their hourly rate. It's going to cost you. So the way that we always ran delivery was we didn't cover the cost of fuel, but we did pay them like a delivery comp for every run. So for example, if I charge the customer $5 for a delivery, I will split that fee with the driver. I'll give the driver $250 and we keep $250 for the store to cover our costs, our insurance costs. And then we give $250 to the driver to cover their fuel costs. That's not a tip, and people always confuse that. Like the customer's like, is the driver getting any of that? I'm like, Yeah, but that's just to cover their fuel. That's not really a tip, because some folks will try to use that as a way to not tip the driver. Shame on you for that, number one. But we always split the fee with the driver to share the cost. So if it costs you $5 every run, if you're given a fee and you have to pay for that cost and that time, and you're only charging $3, then it's starting to cut into the profit. So you need to make sure that you can properly price your delivery fee to cover the expense. It's different for everybody. Your insurance costs are going to be different. Your labor costs are going to be different. Some folks can get away with free delivery. Some folks can get away with $6, $7, $8 delivery fees. It doesn't matter. Just know what the cost is so that you can charge properly the fee to the customers. And listen, customers are used to paying the fee. You see what they're doing on third party. Delivery fee is not uncommon anymore. There used to be a time where it was kind of like the race to the bottom to have the cheapest fee in delivery, but now it's a normal part of the business. So you just have to be competitive for your market. So now, once you decided that you're ready, you understand what your delivery costs are going to be, assuming you're going with a first party route, you're going to handle your own delivery. You understand your costs, you understand your fees. Now you got to decide, if this is the right time to launch, if you're going to have a control radius through your POS system. We use Thrive. We can draw a map. We know our delivery zones. Orders can't come in from outside of those. At least online orders can't come in from outside of that zone for delivery. You can call. And even if we punch in an address and it's not in a zone, it'll tell you in the POS system. I suggest making sure that your POS is ready to integrate delivery service before you try to add first party delivery. More adding zones as your team can handle it, but start small. Start with like a 1 or 2 mile radius around handle that and then expand it. And you can change your fees based on the zones if your POS is set up correctly to do it. And then you can start to layer in some third party if you really need to get your reach out there. But I'm telling you now, start close. Take care of your 1 mile radius, 2 mile radius, and then start to expand from there, because it can get crazy, especially if you're in a busy area, a lot of traffic. Sometimes during peak hours, a driver can be gone for 30, 40, 50 minutes, depending on the time of day. So you just want to make sure that you have your zone tight. I've seen some really big delivery areas and you've had to keep more people on. It's going to cost you more in labor. You got a 5, 6, mile radius. One driver can't handle that. You need to keep 2 on. You need to keep 3 on. So, understanding how those things affect the cost of doing this too. You need to make sure you understand that. Next tip, for profit. Price your delivery for profit. Set delivery minimums. It will cost you money if you got to run a slice of pizza across town for $4 and pay a driver to do it. It's going to cost you money. That's your minimum. I recommend setting your delivery minimum at the cost of one pizza. So if your cheapest pizza is $12.99, set your delivery minimum at $12. If your cheapest pizza is $15.99, set your delivery minimum at $15. Make them get at least a pizza, at least the value of a pizza, so that you're not cutting into your profit by running food out. And then determine which items are available for delivery. Some places won't deliver, like sodas and things like that. That's fine. You just need to make sure that you're clear up front with the customer. You can also change your fees based on the distance from the store. Like I said before, if you got a POS system that can handle it, it can be, within a 1 mile radius is a $3 fee. 2 mile radius is $5. 5 mile radius is, $6.99 and up. Just, you can be flexible with these things if you do it if you set it up the right way and if your POS can handle it. Listen, charge for the convenience. That's what the world is. That's what customers are used to doing at this point, paying for convenience. If they're a little bit farther out and they want a delivery, make sure that you have a fee. Now, it can't be one off. You can't say, oh, where you at? Oh, I can do it for 10. No. This has got to be like, what's our policy? Like, oh, if it's above 5 miles and we charge $9.99 delivery, that's the policy. You can't just do one offs because you call them again and somebody else is going to tell them something different. So you got to have a system and a policy in place for that. That's my recommendation. This says keep building value, upsell items with high margins. So that's when it comes down to execution and on the phones and you're selling delivery, you want to make sure that you're trying to upsell and you're boosting those things. But honestly, the way online order works, as long as you build in your automatic upsells and your pop-ups and your exit pops and your all these things, like that stuff happens and it does it on its own. It does it automatically on its own. You just need to make sure that you build that the right way. The one thing that we didn't talk about was third party and what that does for delivery. So that can happen a few different ways. I'm a big fan of running a hybrid model, meaning there's a mix of first party and third party delivery. When I say third party, I'm not talking about third party delivery like, oh, I'm on DoorDash or I'm on Uber. They deliver. No, I'm talking about using a third party service as a delivery service. So orders come in first party, and then we dispatch to a third party for delivery. And that's something that we've been doing for a few years in the shop, where someone will call us or place an order online or come into the store. And if we don't have the drivers available to take it at the time, I can dispatch a DoorDash driver to come and pick up the order from my store and then deliver it to the customer. Customer didn't order from DoorDash. However, we can dispatch DoorDash to do it. And it may not be available in every area. It's just something that they do here. It's called DoorDash. DoorDash Drive. Uber also has a product called Uber Direct, which is a third-party delivery service or delivery as a service. Take advantage of that because now that gives us the ultimate amount of flexibility. I can handle I can take as many first-party orders as I can handle, but I'm not limited. I can continue to take orders knowing that I can dispatch somebody. Now, it gets a little clunky at different times. If it's if it's raining real bad, driver availability is tough. If it's a holiday, availability is limited because drivers just aren't out there. So you got to be careful. It takes those orders a little bit longer. So it's all about timing and pricing it right. Those services charge a fee per delivery, not a percentage. They charge a flat fee. So DoorDash charges us $7 every time we do that. We charge the customer $5. So it costs us $2 to dispatch a DoorDash driver to come and get your order and take it. That's worth it all day long for me. So I'm a big fan of the third-party delivery as a service. I am not a big fan of third-party marketplaces like Uber Eats, like DoorDash or Grubhub, because they take such a large percentage of the sale, 20, 30, 35% in some cases. That's a losing transaction. However, delivery as a service is a winning transaction because it only costs us $2. And our average order is, it just depends on who you are, but average order typically for us online is about $36. So we can afford to pay that $2 fee to have a driver come out and take it. It's just about finding what works for your restaurant and for your city and your operation. But delivery can add some reach for you, and it can add some value in reaching new customers, offering that delivery service, because a lot of folks do want it when it comes to pizza. However, you just want to make sure that you can do it the right way. You know what I mean? But we're back at it again tomorrow. We're going to do some Q&A on Sunday. That's all we got for this Saturday. Listen, think about putting delivery into your store. Delivery can add some value to your operation. So I suggest you go ahead, take a look at it. And listen, if you want to talk about it, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. My email address, info@tyrellreed.com. Reach out to me. But yeah, stay tuned. We got more episodes coming. We're doing this all month long.